Shalom, good people of YouTube. I have Is Galil today. But before we talk about the Galil, let's talk about why is Galil? Well, you see, back after World War II, the Zionist movement was really kicking off. You had a lot of Holocaust survivors and just general Jewish people in general that were making their way to Israel, Palestine at the time. And that was not exactly pleasing to the neighboring countries to Palestine, which were also majority Muslim countries and still are today. So after the Second World War, with that mass influx of Jewish people into Palestine, tensions were ramping up. And these Israelis were desperate for any type of weapons they could get their hands on. And in the political climate of post-World War II, world, many a nation were trying to get every single bit of influence that they could get where they could get it. Well, actually I say many, but really two, the United States and the Soviet Union. And Joseph Stalin saw this as an opportunity to increase his influence in the Middle East. So he decides that he's going to arm the Israelis. And you might be thinking, oh, so what do you send over a bunch of Mosinagants or things like that? That would have made more sense. But rather what he sent over here was this bad boy, the Kar 98, the German service rifle from World War II. That is correct. The rifle that was used to guard concentration camps was now being sent over to the Israelis in mass. Why? Well, you see, after the war, the Soviets had captured a lot of surplus German weapons, and we talked about the Luger and how it was repurposed in our last gun video. And the Kar 98, they had captured hundreds of thousands, if not millions of the things from the Germans. Now, unlike the United States and Britain, that rather than just capture and repurpose these guns, they destroyed them. Why? We could have had so many cheap Kar 98s now. Why don't I have to argue with a boomer for 20 minutes to try and get the price down a little bit? So Stalin armed the Israeli militia through Czechoslovakia, and a lot of rifles used in the Arab-Israeli war were German Kar 98s. Now this is a Yugo just Gewehr 98, it's not the carbine version. Only difference is the straight bolt would be a curved bolt, and I think the barrel's a little bit shorter, but other than that, it is functionally the same as the Kar 98. Now, after the Arab-Israeli war, which Israel was successful in, they had to get something a little bit more modern because, as well as this bolt-action rifle performed, it's now getting into the 50s, and weapons technology is quickly advancing. So, after the Arab-Israeli war, attitudes and relationships changed, and Israel became more aligned with the Western world, the free world, so naturally they selected the right arm of the free world to be their next service rifle. Now, this is an FAL, one of the most legendary and iconic rifles of the Cold War and still in use today with many a nation. So, the FAL was used by the Israelis for some time, and its first big trial by fire was in the 6 Days War. During the 6 Days War, it was found that apparently, for the Israelis at least, the FAL was getting jammed with the very fine sand of the Middle East, of Israel, and it was, not that well liked by Israeli soldiers for one reason or another. It's very big, it's very unwieldy. It is, it's a 308 full-size rifle, so it's a hefty boy and all that jazz. So, after the 6 Days War, the Israelis are now looking for a new service rifle. And, they got a bit of a taste of something during the 6 Days War that made them rethink some things. So, during the 6 Days War, Israel captured quite a number of the one, the only AK-47. This rifle proved to be quite reliable in the sands of the Middle East. It was way less prone to jamming. You had to maintain it way less than the FAL, according to the Israeli troops. And, it was reliable, it was dependable, and it's, an AK, the things that it's known for today. So, obviously, having the relationship with the Soviet Union pretty much, gone at this point, the Israelis couldn't source these directly from the Soviet Union. I mean, I guess if they really wanted to, they could probably find a way to get it. I mean, even back then, AKs weren't exactly hard to get. However, a Soviet-born Israeli decided that he could make the AK-47 even better, and it'd be produced in Israel. And that, of course, brings us to the Galil. So, what is Galil? The Galil is a TLDR description of it is a 5.56 AK. It works just like an AK. There's a lot of refinements to the AK design here, and this is considered by many to kind of be the pinnacle of the old AK-47 design. Like, we'll tear down both rifles later and the insides look identical. A couple of big differences is that this fires the 5.56 NATO cartridge, the cartridge that the M16 fires. Now, because of Israel's closening relationship with the West and with NATO, that's what made them go with the 5.56 rather than the 7.62 by 3.9 that the AK fires. The man that designed this was a dude by the name of Yisrael Balashnikov. If you think that sounds familiar to Kalashnikov, I'd agree with you. And also the rifle he designed is very similar to a Kalashnikov. However, when he moved to Israel, and in order to give, I believe it was to give his project a better chance of actually being selected by the Israeli military, he changed his name from Balashnikov to Galili, or something like that. Hence why this is called the Galil. So some quirks and features of the Galil. You do have a folding stock back here, which this is still fairly new, so it's a little tough to, there we go, to get it to fold. Folds up like that. Can you fire it like that? Yes. Would I? No. That's, I mean, yeah, no. Full-size rifle cartridge from the, gangsta style, I don't think it's actually going to hit anything. So when you need it to go, you just rip it out and it's ready to go. And one big improvement of the AK is that you do have the traditional AK safety here, where you have safe, full auto, then semi. But this is kind of awkward for right-handed users because you have to take your hand off of the trigger. However, if you look on the other side of the rifle, there's a traditional safety selector here where you can articulate from that side, and it does move the selector on the other side. So that's pretty cool. You do have a covered magazine release here. I'm not sure if that's an improvement because you can't do the neat AK reload with it, but I mean, it works. The magazines do rock in and rock out. YouTube, by the way, this is a 29 round magazine, I promise. You have a charging handle up here that's bent upwards, so you can either reach over the top and, well, let me move it on fire. Move over the top and articulate it like that, rather than having to come under and grab it like you do with the AK. I guess you still could come under and like very awkwardly manipulate it, but yeah. You get some wooden handguards up here as well. And then hooded front sight post and a very M16-ish muzzle brake there at the tip of the barrel. It is an 18-inch barrel as well. All right, so first time we've shot it, they say do not shoot .223 out of it because it's made for 5.56, military 5.56. So we got some 5.56. This is independent munitions. I don't even know if they still even exist. I bought this like 6 years ago. This is Israeli-made 5.56. So here we go. Let's see if it works. So lock it in. All right, put it on fire. That work? Yeah, okay, there we went. It clicked. Charge it up, a little stiff, and let's see what happens. Oh, wow. That is really smooth. The trigger is really nice. It's a Century trigger. All right, let's see. All right, let me just be a man and do it like that. Woo! That felt good. All right, so this rifle itself is a James River Armory Gallant. So what they did here was they imported a bunch of Israeli part kits. So this is made with Israeli parts as much as you can legally, because under importation laws, guns imported must meet either X criteria or have to have so many American parts in them before you can sell them here. So they did that. I believe the receivers made it in the United States, but I believe the barrel, the the flash hider, the folding stock, and I think a couple of the internal bits are all Israeli parts, and the top dust cover too. So, I mean, it's working pretty well so far. We do also have surplus Israeli magazines in it, and the ammunition running through it today is made in Israel. So hopefully this should be running pretty well today. The stock is new, as well as you can tell. They did also change the the firing pin from a floating firing pin to more of a spring-loaded firing pin, so you don't have the firing pin waggling around, potentially setting a primer off and having a negligent discharge. That would be most unfortunate. All right. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's no good. Oh. This might be a magazine issue, I don't know. Because the other one worked fine. That might be a magazine thing. Because the other one, this is the second surplus magazine. The other magazine, I mean, we got through, shoot. I just dumped the magazine, nothing happened. One of the more quirky features of the Galil is that it does come with a bottle opener for some reason. Observe. You take your bottle, you put it in the bayonet leg holder, and let me see if I can do this without making much of a mess. There you go. Refreshing. All right, so naturally we have to do our patented soda penetration test. We've got 6 sodas lined up. Last time with the 5.56 with my AR, it went through, was it 5, 4? I think it went through 4 when we were doing the World War II rifles video. So this has an 18-inch barrel. We have 6 over there. I think it might go through all of them. Camerawoman, what do you think?
Sure.
Sure. All right, heat stroke camerawoman is saying sure. We don't have any bricks because the tide's high. The portion where we normally film this is underwater, so I gotta get real low. Low, 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 low. Yo! Did he live?
I don't know. No, he's bleeding.
He's bleeding?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh yeah, like he's draining.
Yeah, he's bleeding. Let's
put him out of his misery, shall we? All right. So, calm down, Galil. Yo, he was in the front, I think. He got obliterated pretty good. All right. Wow. He's not having a good day, is he? So I think I hit him at the top. Then I shot him again here. And then, yeah, see, because this is where it was. So it nicked him too, but it knocked him over. It didn't knock over the professor over there. Oh. Sam got hit at the bottom. So, wait, it was going in the dirt? And then it bounced up and hit. What? How did that? Yeah, this is how JFK got shot. That's what happened. Because see, look, it went in there and it came out there. Okay. And then...
Man, twist-ups just don't like you.
No, they don't. As is tradition on this channel, we don't do survivors. You have anything to say for yourself, sir? I think you got the message. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and compare the AK to the Galil. And to clarify, this is a Century Arms C39V2. This is an American-made AK, but it's made like most other AKs are, except it's a milled receiver. And again, the Galil is a Gallant, JRA Gallant. So while not the exact rifles, they are very close copies of the rifles. Again, the Gallant's made with Galil parts from Israel. So both of them, to disassemble, you have to remove the dust cover. So let's go ahead and do that. On the AK, do it by poking in this tab back here. Dust cover lifts up. There is your internals. On the Galil Gallant, kind of the same thing, but with the Galil you have a bigger tab back here because it keeps the dust cover on a lot tighter. Since the sights are back here, it gives you a more stable platform for your rear sights. And let me see. Ah, there you go. See how tight that was? All right, so both their dust covers are off, and let me get that. There you go. So again, looking at the internals, they are exceptionally similar. So the Galil in the front and the AK in the back. And then from there, I mean, look at the bolts too. They're literally pretty much the same, with some improvements again made on the Galil. So to go a little bit further, whoops, go ahead and push that forward. Come on, there you go. Move the rod. Same on the, this is a very uneven table, by the way. Same with the AK, move the rod. All right. So again, you can see there, the parts are exceptionally close. All right, to remove the bolt, pull it back. There you go. There's the Galil's bolt. AK. No prizes for anyone who guesses how you remove this. Well, first off, you gotta put it on fire. Same thing. All right, so you can see the bolts, they're the same gas system. The Galil, again, you have some better, improved gas piston from Mr. Galil here. And then as you can see, the AK bolt, the original one, you can see the changes that he made on it. But for the most part, look at the bolts, same pattern, same system. Just a couple improvements here and there. And for the rest of the guns too, I mean, again, they're incredibly close. Galil's just a more refined, more improved AK type rifle. All right, guys. So the Galil is a really cool historical rifle. These can be had from Classic Firearms for about 900 bucks. That's what I paid for this one. Came with a case and all. Really cool piece of history here, especially looking back at, you know, its development and what the Israelis were using beforehand. Sadly though, it wasn't really fully adopted, and it came out right before the Yom Kippur War that the Israeli forces were going to adopt this, but they decided just to stick with what they had since the war literally popped off. I think the same year they decided to adopt the rifle. But really cool piece of history here. Glad I got to show it off to you guys here on the channel and talk about its development and the history behind it. So if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you drop a like, leave a comment, share with your friends. These types of videos typically don't do too well in the algorithm because that is everything nowadays. So if you want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments down below and maybe throw up some ideas for yourself. So hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful week. I hope to catch you guys in the next one. Does it ever feel like you're being watched? It's just, I don't know, we're out here in the middle of nowhere. It feels like I'm being watched. Huh, our old friend from last time has returned. The cheap DPS magazine. Or DSA magazine. Where's the cream soda at? Oh, okay. I forgot how to load an AK apparently. These fit when I... Okay, they do fit, okay. Why can't I put the... Why is it... All right.